Legal Ethics, CPRA, Canon 4, Competence and Diligence. A lawyer professionally handling a client's cause shall, to the best of his or her ability, observe competence, diligence, commitment, and skill consistent with the fiduciary nature of the lawyer-client relationship, regardless of the nature of the legal matter or issues involved, and whether for a fee or pro bono. Section 1. Competent, efficient, and consensuous service. A lawyer shall provide legal service that is competent, efficient, and consensuous. A lawyer shall be true in research, preparation, and application of the legal knowledge and skills necessary for the engagement. Section 2. Undertaking legal services, collaborating counsel. A lawyer shall only undertake legal services he or she can deliver with the prior written consent of the client. A lawyer may secure the services of a collaborating counsel. Section 3. Diligence and punctuality. A lawyer shall diligently and seasonably act on any legal matter entrusted by a client. A lawyer shall be punctual in all appearances, submissions of pleadings and documents before any court, tribunal. Again, a lawyer shall be punctual in all appearances, submissions of pleadings and documents before any court, tribunal, or other government agency, and all matters professionally referred by the client, including meetings and other commitments. Section 4. Diligence in all undertakings. A lawyer shall observe diligence in all professional undertakings and shall not cause or occasion delay in any legal matter before any court, tribunal, or other agency. A lawyer shall appear for trial adequately familiar with the law, the facts of the case, and the evidence to be presented. A lawyer shall also be ready with the object and documentary evidence, as well as the judicial affidavits of the witnesses, when required by the rules or the court. Section 5. Prompt and objective assessment of the merits. A lawyer shall, after reasonable inquiry, promptly give an objective assessment of the merits and probable results of the client's case. A lawyer shall explain the viable options to the client to enable an informed decision regarding the matter. Section 6. Duty to update the client. A lawyer shall regularly inform the client of the status and the result of the matter undertaken, and any action in connection thereto, and shall respond within a reasonable time to the client's request for information. Section 7. Extension of time to file. A lawyer shall avoid asking for an extension of time to file any pleading, motion, or other court submission, except when allowed by the rules of court or for good cause. When an extension is obtained, the lawyer shall not let the period lapse without submitting the pleading, motion, or other court submission, except upon the client's decision not to pursue the case any further or for other justifiable cause. Section 8. Lifelong learning. A competent lawyer engaged in lifelong learning through the continued development of professional skills. Section 9. Practice of law concurrent with another profession. A lawyer who is engaged in another profession or occupation concurrently with the practice of law shall expressly provide in the pertinent contract the nature of the services of the lawyer is engaged to perform. The practice of another profession or occupation shall not jeopardize such lawyer's competence, integrity, probity, and independence in rendering legal services. Section 10. Non-legal activities. A lawyer who is engaged in business or other non-legal profession shall likewise observe the ethical duties and responsibilities of a lawyer under the CPRA. Canon 5, Equality. Every lawyer shall adhere to the principle of equality and hold firmly the belief that every person, regardless of nationality or ethnicity, color, sexual orientation or gender identity, religion, disability, age, marital status, social or economic status, and other like circumstances, has the fundamental right to equal treatment and representation. As such, the lawyer shall accord equal respect, attention, dedication, and zeal in advancing the client's cause, regardless of personal opinion, religious or political belief pertaining on the personal circumstances of the client, except for justifiable reasons. Section 1. Non-discrimination. A lawyer shall not decline to represent a person solely on account of the latter's nationality or ethnicity, sexual orientation or gender identity, religion, disability, age, marital status, social or economic status, political belief, or such lawyers or the public opinions regarding the guilt of said person except for justifiable reasons. Section 2. Treatment of vulnerable persons. In dealing with a client who belongs to a vulnerable sector, a lawyer shall be mindful and sensitive of and consider the client's special circumstances as well as the practicable laws and rules. The lawyer shall observe a higher standard of service suited to the particular needs of the vulnerable person and shall assert such person's right to meaningful access to justice. A vulnerable person is a person who is at a higher risk of harm than others and shall include children, the elderly, the homeless, persons with disability, persons deprived of liberty, human rights victims, victims of domestic violence, victims of armed conflict, those who are socio-economically disadvantaged, and those who belong to racial or ethnic minorities, or those with debilitating physical or mental condition. Section 3. Indigent person. A lawyer shall not refuse the representation of an indigent person except if A. The lawyer is not in a position to carry out the work effectively or competently due to a justifiable cause. B. The lawyer will be placed in a conflict of interest situation. Or C. The lawyer is related to the potential adverse party within the 6th degree of consanguinity or affinity, or to the adverse counsel within the 4th degree. An indigent is any person who has no money or property sufficient for food, shelter, and other necessities for oneself and one's family. Section 4. Standard of service. A lawyer shall observe the same standard of service for all clients, regardless of remuneration, except for the higher standard required for representation of vulnerable persons.